Welcome to our cozy corner of tales where adventure and friendship come alive. In the rolling hills and lush forests of medieval England, a land of legends and heroes, a fascinating story is about to unfold. Inspired by the classic collection of Robin Hood, our tale today originates from the rich cultural heritage of England. Let's begin our journey with The Two Monks, a captivating story of wisdom, wit, and camaraderie.
The Two Monks. In the previous episode, we heard that Little John is declared the winner of a wrestling match by Sir Richard of Lee. But there are some who are not happy with the decision. The story continues. It was decided that Little John would be the winner of the wrestling match, and the other wrestlers would compete again for the lesser prizes. Many people who believed in fair play were happy about the decision, but there was a group of foresters who were upset, as they had laid wagers on a wrestler named Hubert, and he had lost to Little John. They called out accusations that Little John had won unfairly and that he had cheated. Little John pretended to ignore them and continued to admire the fine horse he had won as the first prize. Suddenly, there were a few whispers, and a rumour started floating around that the winner was one of Robin Hood's men. Little John had disguised himself as well as he could, but there would have been some in the crowd who recognized his giant-like frame, broad shoulders, and muscular limbs. The foresters who heard the rumour were glad to act upon it immediately. "An outlaw! He is Robin Hood's man! Seize him!" they shouted and rushed at him. Little John, who saw them coming, jumped upon the horse and rode off faster than an arrow. People in the crowd always loved Robin Hood's men, as they were generous and kind. They made way for Little John to gallop through, but when the foresters came through, they blocked their passage and did not allow them to pass. In a minute, Little John had crossed the bridge and disappeared from sight of the crowd. Sir Richard of Lee heaved a sigh of relief. "I am glad he escaped," he thought to himself, "both for his sake and his master's." He then ordered his men to follow Little John, as his intention was to meet Robin Hood. Little John rode hard and fast, and did not stop until he had reached the area where Robin Hood and the others were gathered. "Little John, where are you coming from in such a hurry?" exclaimed Robin. "And whose fine horse is this?" "He is rightfully mine, master. I have won him fair and square," said Little John proudly. He went on to tell him about the wrestling match and the stranger who had decided in his favour. He had not recognized Sir Richard, as he looked nothing like the sad and depressed knight he had met before. "By the way, on the road here, did you happen to see a lonely knight whom we had lent £400? asked Robin. "No, master, I did not," replied Little John. "Were you expecting him today?" "Yes, because it was exactly 1 year before that we gave him the money, and he promised to pay it back on this day," explained Robin. "I remember the knight being true and honest. I am sure he will come and meet you before the end of the day," said Little John. "Well, we will wait," said Robin. "But until then, I need somebody to sit down to dinner with me. Little John, take Will Scarlet and Much with you. Go to Watling Street and see if you can find someone to grace our dinner table. If they are rich, they will pay for the meal. If they are poor, I will be happy to share my meal with them, and if they are jugglers or minstrels, then we shall have some entertainment." The 3 men set off immediately and soon reached Watling Street. They looked to the east and west, but saw no one. Then they looked at the road leading from Barnesdale and saw a great number of people walking towards them. "It looks like the master will not lack for guests today," exclaimed Little John. "But who are these people approaching us in such large numbers?" The 3 men looked closely at the group. They saw 2 monks wearing black robes, riding on handsome horses. Behind them were 7 pack horses carrying heavy loads, and guarding the party were 52 men armed with spears. "Wow," said Much. "I am sure that there is a great treasure carried by those horses. Why else would the party need guarding by so many men?" "Brothers," said Little John, "no matter how many of them there are, we have to take them to our master, or we will never be able to face him." Much and Will Scarlet nodded their heads in agreement, and they stood a little distance away where the road bent sharply. So when the 2 monks took the turn, only they saw the 3 outlaws blocking their way, with their bows raised and arrows pointing straight at them. "Stop!" cried out Little John in a loud, clear voice. "Ask your men to stop too. If not, my arrow will find your heart." Seeing the 3 outlaws, the monks reined their horses so suddenly that everyone was thrown into confusion. The soldiers, who were marching smartly in a straight file, stumbled and fell in a heap over each other. "Our master commands that you join him for dinner," boomed Little John. "He must be angry now, as you have kept him waiting for so long." The monks did not seem to understand why someone in the forest would be waiting for them at their dinner table. "Who is your master?" cried out the monk, who seemed to be of the higher rank than his companion. "He is Robin Hood," thundered Little John, in such a loud voice that the birds in the bushes flew away. "Oh, he is an outlaw," scoffed the monk. "I have not heard anything good about him." "You lie," replied Little John. "He is the master of this forest, and he has invited you to his dinner table, and we will make sure to take you there." Much and Will Scarlet said nothing, but they were ready with their bows and arrows. But none of them needed to be released, for when the soldiers heard Little John crying out his master's name, they were terrified. In a minute they had all run away, for they had heard many stories about the mighty outlaw, and they feared for their lives in an ambush. The forest road was now empty, except for the 2 monks on the horses, the 7 pack horses laden with treasures, and the 3 outlaws facing them. "Let's march," said Little John, and the little party made their way deep into the forest. Join us in the next episode to see what happens when Robin meets the 2 monks.
As we reflect on the tale of the 2 monks, we're reminded that kindness and compassion can lead us down a path of great reward. Download the Story Waves app from Apple or Android app stores to explore more stories from the Robin Hood collection and cultures around the world. A Story Waves subscription costs less than $1 a month, making it one of the most affordable ways to bring quality stories to your family. All new stories are available on the Story Waves app, and the most exciting content is only available on the app. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow Story Waves on Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify for updates on upcoming content. Thank you warmly for watching.